with Muddy Waters episode 3. Also, Muddy Gem of the Day. If you're not producing, you useless.
What's up, y'all? Muddy Waters Podcast. Today we're gonna be talking about black businesses, black culture, everything black. We're gonna be specifically speaking with the OTM artists and dissecting their brains, man.
All right, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for showing us love. Also on July 27th, man. And that Muddy Gems, man. We had a fun time, man. It was a blast, man. Appreciate y'all.
All right, man. Let's get to it, man. We about to start the episode. So thank y'all for tapping in. Make sure y'all follow us on all platforms at OTMBENT. Make sure y'all follow us on YouTube. We streaming on TikTok, Twitch, everything. But thank y'all for coming in. Out the Mud, Muddy Waters, episode 3. Let's get it. Let's go.
All right, so yeah, we here to talk about black business and black culture. And one thing that we take pride in, one thing that we have been blessed to do is to be able to start businesses and also not only start them but cultivate cultures around our businesses. This is OTM's very own CEO Chino, who has started Out the Mud, which is most people think it's a record label. It's not a record label, but we are an entertainment label. We're immersed in all forms of art, whether it be contemporary art, new forms, multimedia. We do it all. And my first question for you is, Chino, is what was the biggest thing for you when you made it up in your mind that you wanted to start a business?
The biggest thing in my mind, I wanted to surround myself with like-minded people. So people that were, coming from the same situation, people that were kind of living the same life, but in like different ways. So I just wanted to surround myself with those type of people and then build from the ground up. So people that are willing to work, people that don't care really too much about social media and like really what's going on, like focusing on themselves. And then also I wanted everybody to have kind of like the same end goal. So as long as everybody got the same vision going towards the same goal, I didn't see a problem with us meshing. I thought the mesh was gonna go perfectly, and as we continue to go along, it's doing exactly that. So that was the biggest thing for me, just making sure I got a solid team of men around me.
Okay, so culturally speaking at OTM, and we are like culturally, what we doing at OTM is actually cultivating an experience. So as for OTM, what do you think? What do you think is great about us in terms of like the cultural aspects of what we're doing?
The greatest thing about OTM would be our versatility. I think we're covering all aspects, all angles of entertainment, and we're capable of doing even more. So we're just scratching the surface right now. We got a lot more coming. We got a lot more work to put in. So we just taking it one step at a time, keeping our head down. Just working, not looking up. We got to stay in that middle. So we just go keep working every day until we gonna look up one day and we gonna be living in answered prayers. Cause the time we in right now, we live in the answered prayers that we prayed for years ago or a year
Definitely.
ago. So we
Definitely.
just go keep doing the same thing, and that's what's gonna bring us success, being consistent. So
Okay.
as long as we more consistent than everybody, more disciplined than everybody, there's no stopping us really.
Oh, okay, for sure.
Right.
So my next question for you is music. We have two of our artists sitting in here. We got Teezy, we got nappyzee. And initially, you started off as a record label, and I want to talk to you. I want to touch on you with this because music is a very big part of our culture. As far as that goes, this is also an open question for our artists. Like, what does music mean to y'all?
Well, I think music in terms is just a rhythm of life to me. But like it's most certainly everything to me. But as far as I can see how other people view it, it's just like the rhythm of different flows and different beats, because different sound waves affect people different. You know what I'm saying? Different
Definitely.
levels of sound waves. So the frequencies and different things like that, when it actually resonates with that person, you know what I'm saying? Like they feel a different way, and it may like they touch, or maybe even what you say, you know what I'm saying, can change that person's aspect or viewpoint or anything, you know what I'm saying? So I find like music is just like a different voice, you know what I'm saying, a different viewpoint to, you know what I'm saying, reach out to different people if so, or just, you know what I'm saying, expressing oneself, you know what I'm saying, freely,
Yeah, for sure.
for sure. So,
So definitely. So with that being said, is making art is one thing, but turning art into a business, that's where the real game starts.
right.
And also with Chino doing what he did for not only OTM but all of us. I'm an artist as well, so what he did for all of us, and it's not typical as the first thing. So the element of that is very, very great. But also with that being said, In terms of business, how do you view your music in terms of just straight business?
In terms of straight business, it's just more so like, well, I gotta get it into straight, more so in straight business, because I see it as a passion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And when people like, sorry, when you doing work that's actually your passion, it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I said that right, but it doesn't feel like actual work when you're doing something you love. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's just that point. At that point, you got to turn into a business aspect. To now, like, I want to reach out and like have people view me as this person, like, and I gotta solidify that in the business world. You gotta do all that. In in terms of the business part, I'm still new to it, to be honest with you, man. But it's definitely it's a different world than what it'll be, and more so uh, fuck. Is that brain fuck?
He just got lost. In
Oh,
his
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it
but
get like that.
but nah, it's definitely different, bro. It's definitely
I know.
different. It's definitely different because
But
we gonna cut that, but yeah, it's definitely different.
But to piggyback off, but to piggyback,
I'm trying to
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, bro. Yeah, yeah.
Damn.
bro.
Oh, he lost me on that one though. I ain't gonna lie to you. You had me on the
All right,
the
but
first
let's
one
bring
was
it back. Let's
hey.
bring it back, fellas. Because you know what I'm saying, I don't know how many of us are have business owners in our family. You know, so when we talk about black businesses, you know, does anybody here have entrepreneurs in their family? If so, what did their success look like, and how did that impact you growing up? I can go first. I think I only had a few entrepreneurs, like two actually, and he was well successful. He was in the radio industry, not as in producing music, but actual radio stations and things like that, like hosting the stations and everything like that. So not too many entrepreneurs when it came to entrepreneurial advice. You know, you don't get that unless it's in your immediate family or someone that you really just had no questions to. But my question for y'all is, did y'all have any examples of entrepreneurs in y'all family? What did independent success look like to you growing up?
Well, in my family, mostly everybody are workers. You know, so I would be breaking that generational curse, being the first entrepreneur in my family. So for me in my life, I'm just in a space where I want to just, break generational curses continually and just continue to take that risk, be that risk taker within the family. So I'm just want to show all my family members that you are capable of doing like whatever you want in life. So I just continue to talk to my family and just motivate them and let them know like if I'm doing it, like y'all can do it. We grew up in the same house. We grew up doing the same things. So if it's in me, it's in you. So you just got to remind people of that. A lot of people don't really have that support system, to like be honest with them and tell them that like you are capable of more. A lot of people don't have that, so that's when self-doubt come in, and people go down themselves, or you kind of fall back on what TZ said, like your passion. You stop believing in yourself, you stop believing or like that you are greater than what you're living right now. But the great thing about life is as we continue to wake up, it's just another chance to make our dreams come true, right? So we just got to look at it as that. Like everybody is capable of being an entrepreneur. It's just what do you want to do with your life, And the biggest thing is I remind people like, bro, you can be whatever you want, but whatever you gonna do, like just do it to the fullest.
No, facts. I think for me, what it was I feel like since nobody took that risk, and also like I'm a very curious person. So for me, it was like also it's at where I'm at now. It's like it's been so fun, and also the compound effect is real. But as far as my family goes, that's why I took that risk because it's like it can't be. I don't want to work for 40 years.
Right.
I don't want to get up and go do somebody else's work every day. Because if you're not building your own dreams, you having somebody build theirs. So why not take that chance on myself?
Yeah, definitely.
Most definitely. And I really I relate because most of my family are like they work. Most of my family, the men in my family, like they hard working, but they never been the one to like own businesses or like really invest really. So it'd be like a first step to like leap out, like a leap of faith, really, just to put yourself out there and believe in yourself and actually do that. Like I feel like most for sure, like I'll be the first, maybe to pull that off.
Yeah.
But you gotta have faith in that. I
No.
started.
I'm actually glad you said that because I feel like in the black community, as far as like culturally, we always think like running a business or investing in stocks or doing anything of that nature is a scam. Like I
Yeah.
had somebody tell me that the other day, like investing in cryptocurrency and stocks is a scam, but it's like if it's a scam, then why do banks do it?
It's
Yeah.
like it's
Why do
not an
millionaires do it?
understanding.
Yeah.
Like you know, what I'm saying when you don't understand anything, it's like you just go to assume it's a scam or
Yeah,
it's
Yeah.
something or something. It's not anything. You just gotta understand it, find out the knowledge of it first. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
yeah. And also to get more vulnerable, you know what I'm saying? Why with that's a great question by Savior. I feel like for me, as far as my business and what I do, like writing books, I feel like culturally we just don't have enough authors in this world. We don't have enough authors or painters, really. No, not really enough contemporary artists. We got plenty of athletes. We got plenty of rappers. We got plenty of a lot of things that really, I mean, I feel like it's oversaturated from my point of view.
As far as the black community.
Yeah, as far as the black
and you
community.
know what, John? You got not you don't have a lot of people that read either no more either. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
yeah, definitely.
So definitely.
Education is a big thing in our community as well, and I feel like that's why we don't have enough black businesses. So how do y'all feel about that? Like, how do y'all feel about education in general? And education is just more than just school.
I think education is very important because
Definitely.
if you're not learning, then you kind of setting yourself back. So with school, like my mom, she didn't play that. You know, I was in school every day, and every day I went to school, it was teaching me structure. It was teaching me, I'm just learning something new. You feel me? So it's just that 1% every day that you want to just continue to apply to your lifestyle.
No, definitely.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. To say that, I definitely would have to say that I agree with that as well too. By education to me, definitely means just like said just fulfilling your mind with energy, with information that you may have been unaware about. So again, for me, whether that's not again not just school, but for the black community, and again not just the black community, but just in general.
Right. So let's talk about this. Right, because y'all brought up a very important point, man. And if y'all don't know, man, this how OTM get down, bro. We be having fun.
Real
we
money
be,
over here.
Nah, for real. For real. But
that's the-
Josh said something, man, because it is National Black Business Month, right? Nah, and I already know. You gotta have some substance, man. So with this being Black Business Month, right? The narrative, one of y'all just said it. There are not enough authors, right? I want to come back and say there are not enough tradesmen in the black community. You know, the average narrative for a minority in the black community is you got 3 avenues of getting out, and they're wrong, but they're false, and they're falsely held to a standard of expectation, right? But those 3 avenues to me are you either gonna do drugs, you gonna do sports, or you gonna do entertainment. And although those are the 3 push, it's like that's not what we're limited to. You know, like when we think about other businesses, like we need electricians, we need contractors, we need people that have other skills and other traits. So when we think about changing the narrative, when we think about what do we want people to gain from OTM outside of the entertainment exposure, outside of seeing us do concerts, outside of us seeing us doing music videos or traveling the world and making money, it's like, how can we show someone the importance into being a contributor to society? Like I said, we need more electricians. We need less athletes. We need less entertainers. We need less people selling drugs. It's glorified in some hoods to be a trapper, to be a drug dealer. So what do y'all think about that negative narrative, and how do you plan on combating that narrative in the future?
I definitely think that it's a negative stereotype for sure. You know what I'm saying? Just a negative outlook on black people in general, because there's not a lot of people. I know a lot of black business people like ourselves that don't trap and not like we have played basketball, football, but we're not athletes like in the NFL or NBA, none of that. Like we're actually like businessmen that do our own thing, but find a way to bring it to the table at the end of the day. So I definitely feel like that's a negative outlook, but I feel like we should raise more so not raise, sorry. I feel like we should show more so like how to level up oneself, like when in terms of finding out what you enjoy and what you dislike and the things that you enjoy, you know what I'm saying? Work on those and build that up. The like make people bosses, you know what I'm saying? Like in their own way, in their own lane. Not too many people like I feel like it's more so like structural, like uh
Yeah, it's more so like structure,
yeah,
environment,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
also what you
Environment and
around, what you
everything.
putting in
Like
your body, what you letting out of it. So definitely, what you just said, definitely, yeah, that's definitely most certainly true. Also, I feel like the standard of excellence for Black people in general as a culture is low.
right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it definitely has been
Facts.
lowered
Like,
over
Right.
times. Like at some points of time, it's been higher than others.
Black Wall Street.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like people just not paying attention to everything that's going on in the black community. So worried about everything that's going on in the world and not, really just paying attention to what's going on with your people and
Right.
your community and your neighborhoods and your street and your apartments. We worried about everything that we can't control, but we don't
Yeah.
really focus on the stuff that we can control as far as
Mhm.
like making the parks a safer place, making libraries more popular, making schools a safer place, putting money into our schools like the elementaries, middle schools, stuff like that. Because you go to other neighborhoods where it's more money, not so necessarily white neighborhoods. They have Asian neighborhoods now. They have Indian neighborhoods
definitely.
now. So it's like all those people are pouring back into their communities
And
without us even knowing.
just
So
Right.
it's like
just
as
putting
far as
value.
us,
yeah,
Right.
why are we slacking on that?
Because we can go to a Latino community right now. They got Latino businesses, they got Latino restaurants, they got Latino washaterias, they got Latino dry cleaners. We go to the Asian community, Asian restaurants, Asian dry cleaners. It's all owned by their people. We go to the black community. All we own in the black community are food spots. And that's
Club
pretty much it.
spots.
Club spots.
liquor stores.
You know what I'm saying? We don't even own the gas stations in our hood. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? Those are Indians, Pakistanis, Iranians. Those are foreigners who come. They don't even smoke tobacco, but they make millions off of it, selling it
Yeah.
every year. So the next question is when we talk about ownership,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
What does ownership look like? If you talk about bringing a business to the communities of minorities, what businesses would you bring to a lower served community, minority community?
Definitely a library.
Definitely a laundromat.
A grocery store for sure, just for you know what I'm saying, because we got a lot of like family. Like I don't know about y'all, but like like a lot of black people have either families.
I would say, a recreational center.
Definitely.
Definitely that
in
too.
the community. To kind of just touch on what they said about everything. I definitely, do agree, with why we're not, as a black community, putting those things, and maybe even setting those things up for standards for our kids. We could have our kids at the grocery stores, instead of them maybe going outside all the time and maybe going in the streets and being with the wrong people and being in the
Nah,
different
facts.
crowds. You know what I'm saying? We could put them in grocery stores and be like, hey, this grocery store is hiring for
Exactly.
14, 15
Give
year
'em a
olds,
job.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Go get a job,
exactly.
you know what I'm saying? So like,
Right.
that's not something that in a 14-year-old, and that's education.
Exactly. And that's
going
not
back to
hurting
education.
them.
That's teaching
That's
them.
not hurting
That's
them at
teaching a
all.
14 or 15-year-old communication skills, you know what I'm saying? With
Yeah.
different races, you know what I'm saying, coming into our community, because we as
Are allowing
black
it.
community, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
going to other people's communities, you know what I'm saying, where you may go get some Vietnamese food,
Right.
and then what? Now you want some curry, you know what I'm saying? Where you gonna find some Indian curry? You're
Yeah.
probably not gonna find it in downtown Galleria unless it's a fancy restaurant. You want
Yeah.
some of that good, you gonna go find it in that,
Yeah.
that little area
Over there, 59.
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you feel me? So, like,
Westheimer.
that goes
Yeah.
back to everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have to do a lot better, you know what I'm saying, and putting our people in better positions to succeed, you know what I'm saying, so that they're, you know what I'm saying, not hurting each other, and then, we're in better environments where our kids are safe to go outside, and we're not like, dang, somebody gonna,
Exactly.
you feel me? Because why do other people feel like they can go and live in different communities?
Exactly.
Right. So we said some good things. We heard library. We heard a
Laundromat.
laundromat. We heard a rec center. We heard a food store. I think a food store probably be one of the biggest because when you change what people eat, you'll change how they think. And when we look at the community, when we look at let's say for instance, like I said, my dad lived in South Park since I went to high school, right? When I think about MLK, when I think about Cullen, when I think about Reed, when I think about off 288, you get West Airport, West Belford, West Orm, and you go beyond Alameda, Genoa, that area, I think of the only grocery store is HEB. And it's in Third Ward.
Yeah.
And you got to drive 20 minutes to go to Third
For
Ward.
food time.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it's known as, I think,
No.
in layman's term, they call it a food desert.
Definitely.
Right? It's a food desert out there
That's illegal.
because they don't have access to fresh fruit, fresh vegetables. They don't have access to fresh milk, to eggs. So it's like it's easy for me to go feed my kid 2,000 calories worth of a Big Mac meal at McDonald's,
Yeah.
even though they didn't do no physical output today. They didn't do anything productive mentally, physically, but we're gonna get them food that we know is high in calories, and the food impacts their health and their mental cognition. So when we talk about those things, you know what I'm saying? I want to keep hearing y'all expound on why y'all think, you know what I'm saying? Let's go to what you said, laundromat. That's a business.
Yeah.
It's owned by mostly Latinos. Why do you think we need more laundromats? And same for y'all, why do y'all think we need more rec centers, more foods?
Well, basically, a laundromat is something that people are pouring their money into, and it's also giving back to them at the same time. So a business like that will help build up the community and bring more money to a community, which will build up everything around it. You know, so laundromats are important. It's also like a welcome spot. You know, you go see like people in your neighborhood. You know, you can go hang out there. It's just another safe spot. But also, I would like to piggyback on when they said something about the neighborhoods, and it's also like, as far as black people, when we go into other neighborhoods, like, why do they think that we're gonna like just bring the value down in their neighborhood? You know, not so far as like bringing crime or nothing to it. Just like just seeing our face on the block
Right.
with these other people
Brings the value down.
It brings the value down.
Right.
Definitely
You know,
true.
why is that? Like, and it's big like that in Houston. Even as Houston is like such a diverse city, it's still like the black community is probably, you know, the minority community is lower
To kind of
in everything.
speak on that, you know, really kind of what you said, even taking it back to Hurricane Ike, you know.
Oh, you talking about the most recent one? Harvey.
Hurricane Harvey.
Harvey.
You know, and you said, why does our face bring the value down in those communities? And I agree. Like, you know, you look at places like the River Oaks and, you know, the Gallerias, and all those places were flooded. You know, their sewages and drainage systems weren't good enough because a lot of money had to be spent into these businesses and big buildings and, you know, and these, you know, so-and-so fancy, nice houses. And our side of the south side, or, you know what I'm saying, Houston, like you said, Cutland, South Park, you know what I'm saying, those areas didn't really get flooded because we have good drainage sewer systems, you know what I'm saying? So then you look at, you know what I'm saying, other parts, like we really stay in one of the more better parts of the community, you know?
Right,
like,
yeah.
and my house didn't get flooded. And, you know, like, I'm apologizing to everybody else that, you know what I'm saying, obviously, you know what I'm saying, had to deal with that. You know, that was still a tragedy, but, you know, it's still, like, you know,
Right.
we have good
Right. It's
situations.
just how we live in them, how we mean. Like I said, we don't cut our grass.
Exactly.
We don't take our trash out. We don't take our neighbor's trash out anymore.
People look at little businesses like that as like, oh, it may be lame or this and that, but you see like, oh, the Mexicans.
What? I don't know what's going on.
I feel you.
I'm talking about because bro did
The cricket though.
yeah.
Nah, for sure. Nah, y'all good. We're not. That's what I'm saying. So when y'all think about, it's on y'all, but that's what I'm saying. I'm finna take it to y'all. Right. So, laundromats, bringing more money into and out. John, you said libraries. What? We know you're an author. We know that you've published over 100 books on Amazon. You have some works going through your own personal website, Delicious Publishing House. That's 2 E's and Delicious Publishing House. So why is the library? Well, let's talk about this first, John. The fact that libraries are being taken out of public school systems, the fact that libraries are being taken out of communities. We are in a resource right now in the library, but let's talk about the absence of libraries in communities before we talk about bringing them back.
I mean, think about what they do. I mean, the best like that. I mean, libraries have a lot of value, bro. Not only just not value with the books, so there's knowledge and education, but it's just like it's a peaceful place to be. It's definitely a place we can find peace. You can definitely like do what you gotta do. A lot of people go to the library, they don't even gotta read a book. They can just go there to work. Also, libraries offer more than just books. They have like certain toys, puzzle games. They also host events. Also doing school giveaways, and also the reason why I really want a library is to really give back to the youth. I feel like the youth is the most important, and also with me having a bunch of nieces and nephews and just seeing how I'm able to change their lives through being an author, being a writer, and having them read my books and come back and do reports. It just changes everything. So like education, well being, they come more structured. They're able to read better. They're able to understand things faster, and also I feel like it's just something that the black community needs. And as far as them taking it away, obviously there's value in books or in libraries if you're going to take them away.
Exactly.
Solid.
So, like to piggyback off what Xavier was talking about on our side of town, uh, I think there's only like one library within like a 10 to 15 mile radius,
Right.
you know. But you'll go to a different side of town and you'll see probably a library on every fourth street, you know, and a nice one too. So it's just like as far as us, like when we talk about black businesses and black culture, we can be those people
Yeah.
to bring that back to style.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know?
why we got OTM, and I'm glad you said that because actually, our CEO's genius by what he just did. Not only something that I see that it just brings everything in that I feel like our community needs. Like we're gonna need businesses, we're gonna need health, we're gonna need education, we're gonna need arts and entertainment. But not only that, we're also showing them and other people in our culture that it is possible to do.
Nah, that's solid. That's solid. So, the next question, right? We talk about the community, right? We talking about black businesses in the communities. Uh, how can we as individuals solve these problems in communities? What are some solutions to bringing? Because it just takes resources, it takes time, it takes money, but it also takes a want and a need. So how can we show people that they need more libraries, they need more grocery stores, they need more rec centers in their communities?
You said the first word that you said was one of the most important words: resources. Our resources are limited, you know, and we got to change that.
Very true.
That means we have to connect more. We have to step out of our comfort zones. A lot of people I know around me, as far as my family, my friends, are afraid of stepping out that comfort zone. I was afraid of stepping out that comfort zone at once. You know,
Yeah.
people used to always call me out. You're a leader, but it's like you don't want to be a leader.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like if we want change, we have to be the change.
Right. So what does that look like exactly? Because like I said, we can talk about the OTM fund, right? We're practicing group economics. That's all of us putting our money from our selfish from our personal pockets into a group fund. And with that fund, hopefully we could do some change in the community. But what if we had more people in what if we had more people in the hood? So I'm gonna put $100 towards the South Park fund, the MLK fund, whatever the name was, whatever the case may be, and we said, hey, we're gonna pay to get our streets repaired. We're gonna pay to fix this parking lot for this business. We're gonna pay to bring a grocery store. So how can group economics? How can us? Because we have to use our money. We talk about resources, right? Let's just be honest. Money is the resource.
Exactly.
So how do we get people in our community to understand we have to put our money together to impact and build the change that we're looking for?
Before any money gets passed around, you got to get the mentality right first of why y'all are doing what y'all are doing. I just want to say that's the biggest thing, besides the money, and also doing it with people that you actually trust, and also having a real reason on not only just improving it, but also continually improving it.
Yeah, and to kind of touch on that, I would say to kind of help people, understand that these resources are needed is kind of putting people in position to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Like giving people, opportunities to make some money.
Absolutely.
Who don't have jobs. You know what I'm saying? Those who are, it's maybe to the less fortunate. You know what I'm saying? Who are trying to get in a position like we spoke on earlier, maybe giving a guy, you know what I'm saying, or a little boy a chance to volunteer at, you know what I'm saying, the public library to give back books, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, now, although it may not be the best job in the world, you know what I'm saying, but, it may show a thing like, okay, he's getting paid $600, like my little boy at 14, that helps him out the house, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's helping out the house.
Yeah,
And that's
facts.
getting him a couple hours, you know what I'm saying, to do something to give back to his community.
Instead
you know
of
what I'm
playing a
saying?
video game and
You
being in
feel
the
me?
streets.
You know what I'm saying? So just like something that we probably, didn't really think of, you know what I'm saying, of doing, you know what I'm saying, that really probably could have made a difference, you know what I'm saying, in our community and really just in the world in general, you know what I'm saying? So I would say definitely doing that, and then them seeing that, they're going to be like, oh, why not the next guy do it, and then the next guy, and the
Yeah,
next
it's gonna
kid,
have a
the next kid,
domino effect.
you know?
Yeah. So to answer your question, Savior, to be the change in the communities, that we have to bring more money into our communities, and that starts with education. So with education, being knowledgeable about a skill, whatever skill that it is, you turn that skill into a income, and then you use that income to make another income, which becomes passive income. And so now we got to get that game back to our community, back to our the younger generation, letting them know about passive income, and not finding out about passive income when you're 25 or 24,
Right.
because it's kids that know about passive income at 10 years old.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so it's like we got to bring more money into our communities, and I'm not afraid to have OTM be that first, that shows everybody how to do it.
Yeah.
No,
So
facts.
that's why we here. Like, we want to show everybody that, like, you capable, because like we didn't grow up around all these people, So it's just, what do you want to focus on? Like, what do you want to do with your time? What do you want to do with your life? Do you want to be remembered? So just bringing more money into that community, bringing more money into ourselves. Now we have room to talk about investments in libraries and resources, and building our resources and building the community. Now that we done took our lives serious,
No, yeah.
you feel me?
Yeah,
We
that's-
can't just be talking about it and not putting no action.
Yeah.
So once we start taking our lives serious, we won't even have to say much.
Yeah,
People will
definitely.
just start seeing it,
Definitely.
and now let's go click in their brain. Oh, this all I got to do, and this go happen. Bet, let me do that.
No, facts.
It's gonna be like it's gonna be very easy to see and understand, and to kind of also, like, what I'm saying. Again, like he said, to answer your question, bringing more money back in, the biggest thing he said was education. The biggest thing is even making our schools more safer. Like, there's a lot of police officers that are not doing anything during the day, during their shifts, and doing anything. Why are those officers not in schools? You know what I'm saying? To where a lot of these school shootings may be stopped. You know what I'm saying? Or, they may be, and not even just that, you know what I'm saying? But like Chino also said, learning a skill. Why are we not maybe offering somebody, hey, we see that you know this skill, come teach this class, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Boom.
right,
You feel me?
right.
Putting these kids in more position to learn anything outside of just regular reading, math, because
Yeah,
we did that in middle
regular
school. We
curriculum,
did
bro.
that. They know how to do that. They will continue to touch on and hone those skills, but let's focus on the things that matter. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So
Right.
Yeah.
just implementing those more into our districts and that are in our communities. You know
It's
what
our
I'm saying?
learning system.
You feel me?
I'm
So,
glad you said that, and also from what we do, I'm asking this question to all y'all. Most of what we do, we didn't learn in school.
Yeah, exactly.
As far as group economics, funding,
Playing with a
creating
camera, making
passive-
music in
yeah,
your room. Yeah.
passive income, learning how to do tech skills, also learning communication skills, negotiating. We didn't learn those things in school, so I feel like that's another thing too.
Yeah.
In the community, also in our community, I'm glad y'all said. I really agree with everything y'all said. I feel like financial literacy is a big thing in the black community, and that's I often feel like that's why a lot of black businesses fail.
yeah.
Yep.
But
We don't know what to do with the credit when we get the credit.
Yeah, facts.
And like you said, also to say, like, even because there are schools, and it's like, why do we have it? Because there are schools that have photography, learning how to play with bands and produce beats, and there's are certain schools like, for example, we can take it to sports, you know what I'm saying? And why a lot of, black guys and black community with black families and where they have money and they're able to send their kids, and why IMG offers a scholarship so they're able to spend a lot of money into this so that they're their top school. And why are they in that community specifically spending that much money, and that's,
Right.
they're doing it and they're one of the top schools, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
you feel me?
So let's keep it going, man. The next topic. What is the importance of mentors, right? Let's talk about mentors. Have the mentors of the past, let's say the past 20 years, it's 2025. So let's say mentors from 2005 to now. Have the mentors been giving us positive feedback into how we can solve this problem in our communities? And how do we as mentors, we're young adults, we're young men, how do we play a role as, even though we don't want to be mentors, eyes are on us. You know what I'm saying? So we are mentors regardless if you want to be one. So what's the importance of mentors, and how do y'all think negative mentors play a role into this YN mentality of it's okay to be cool with killing your best friend over a girl at 18 years old, 16 years old, or it's okay with me bringing a gun to school even though I know I'm not going to use it, I just want to bring it so I could be cool, or sell drugs in middle school. I was watching this podcast, if you want to go get weed anywhere in America right now, just go to a middle school, right? So what about mentors? How does mentors play into? How do you get weed into middle school, right? And this is not about weed, right? But this has to do from guidance. Someone gave him the authority to think it's okay to bring that into school.
Yeah, to answer that question, some stuff like that is inevitable because it depends on the environment that you were brought up in. So one thing about mentors give you a sense of direction. You know, so without mentors, everybody would kind of just be going through life, figuring out everything as we go. So that's why it's important to have a mentor, have somebody to look up to, as far as like on the positive side. But it is some people that look at people that are in certain positions, and like even though like it's a negative light, it's still a mentor to them because maybe that's just what they into. Like everybody don't like the same stuff. So as far as everything, like mentors are probably like more important than anything. You feel me? Like as far as like learning and education and stuff, like because if I know something and I can give you game 20 years before I learned it or 20 years before you got to learn it, then that's gonna help you out and change your path. And like you don't even know what way. So it's like
streamlining the process for him.
And like he said, like like a mentor could really, it's really something like that kind of is inevitable that you really can't, stop from happening because a mentor could be anything. Like it could be a father figure, it could be a brother, it could be a friend, it could be somebody that somebody needs to watch on, television. But like again, that goes back to what he said and putting more money into our community, into our environments, to where now these kids are able to be at least accustomed to being able to put in that algorithm of being able to see those type of things. You get what I'm saying? Like if they're not given the opportunity to say, hey, okay, this is let's think of a day. Let's think of a guy like Casanat. Let's say Casanat was teaching funding or economics and like we're not showing them him, but clearly he's one of the top guys. It's like he's showing us why we're not showing that in class.
David
like,
Stewart and Robert Smith,
you know what I'm saying?
Why
Like,
don't more kids know these black
Damon John,
exactly. These people that,
but we know what Elon Musk
are actually bringing value.
Donald Trump
you know what I'm
because
saying?
of the attention and
so it comes back to the people who do have the resources to be able to say, hey, okay, let's make a difference in this community. We're from this state, we're from this city. Let's go and make a difference. And it's a lot more out there of us out there than we think. And it has to be all of us collectively reaching out and saying, hey, let's come together because they do it in the other communities.
So what about being a subliminal role model? Like I said, when you don't know, or let's say you say someone, I don't want to be a role model, I don't want to be a mentor, but you're in that environment where you have younger nieces, you have younger cousins, where they automatically, without you thinking about it, the way you wear your belt, they want to wear it. The way you tie your shoes, they want to tie them. The way you wear your clothes, how you pick your clothes, you can see your little cousin. Oh, he did the same outfit I did. He just changed it up a little. So when you are not trying to be a mentor, you are trying to be a mentor. So what habits should you take knowing that eyes are on you at all times?
Oh, one of the biggest things, man. Also, y'all know to stop like the drinking thing and the vaping thing. I will say my nephew did get in trouble at school for vaping, but I kind of felt like that was my fault. You know what I'm saying? Cause like if I feel like if I wouldn't have been doing it, he never would have picked it up. Yeah. So definitely, really paying attention to like what you doing and really like being fully self-aware because there's a lot of times people pick up on things that you do. They might not never tell you, but like that's like the real thing.
Exactly.
They peeping game.
Exactly. And it's like even with that, like how a kid watching you, you gotta think eyes are on you at all times. God always watching you. So you wanna try to live. Nobody's perfect, but you wanna try to be that image, try to meet that image in every single way. Even though it's not gonna happen, but that's why you repent. But yeah, just to say off that, like try to on a daily, like just with everything you're doing, just try to be that better version of yourself because you got to know that eyes are always on you regardless if you're paying attention or not.
Definitely. No,
right. So let's talk about solutions. Have you ever been let down by a mentor? And if so, how did you overcome that feeling of understanding they were there for a reason for me to learn? Have you ever been let down by a mentor?
Yeah.
I would say, definitely. Yeah. I feel like, again, a mentor.
And how do you give them grace now in 2025?
I feel like a mentor for somebody could be like a role model. You know what I'm saying? Again, like, you feel me? Like, so for me, like, my brother, or you know what I'm saying, like my brother's done things. I'm like, come on, bro, like get it together. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, facts.
Even like I said, I'm a real big fan of sports, so I'll take it to sports and I'll say LeBron James. You know, like that's my favorite basketball player of all time, and he's missed some of the biggest shots. I'm like, bro, why you ain't just make that?
Right.
I'm like, dang, LeBron, like mad at him, like, sorry, like you trash, like. But then I come back and you know what I'm saying, for real though. But I come back and I give him grace. I'm like, man, like, you know, there's times it's like, man, LeBron, there you go,
Yeah.
like there you go LeBron. Then you know what I'm saying. It's like you feel me, like. You gotta understand that he's also human. You know what I'm saying? My dad, you know what I'm saying? Or like I said, my brother, you know what I'm saying? Like they're also human just like me, and I make mistakes and I want people to give me grace. I'm pretty sure we've all messed with a girl or been in relationships, whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, when you make a mistake with your girl, you know what I'm saying, you want to be like, come on, baby, chill, like, you know what I'm saying? Just give me some grace.
Just giving everybody grace.
You
But
know,
then she hit you with that UBS and you got that.
you know what I'm saying? He's just like, man, just give me a chance. You know what I'm saying? You just want a chance. You know what I'm saying? So giving the same grace to them, you know what I'm saying? Understanding that, man, they make mistakes too. You feel me? So
Unless it's something that's deliberate.
exactly,
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
deliberately doing that's
And it
different.
continue. You know what I'm saying? It's
if
like,
it
bro,
continue,
come on,
yeah,
get
that's
it together.
different,
You know what I'm saying?
So what did you learn, Z? And like, we not dropping names. What did you learn like about yourself, about socializing, about just connecting with people from that interaction?
Yeah. I would say personally, like I learned a lot about like just staying confident in yourself, you know what I'm saying? And understanding that everything is really just a temporary moment. You know what I'm saying? That everything is just a temporary feeling. So like that itch that you have of, man, you seen this person and like you should, man, I should have went up and said something, like, you know, like that was that temporary moment where you could have made that decision and went ahead and talked to that person. But now you feel this longevity feeling of something is now maybe missed because you didn't act on that temporary moment. You know what I'm saying? So just understanding that confidence and understanding that, like, you know, you may not never get that chance again. You know, you don't these things don't happen often, you know what I'm saying? But they happen for a reason. You know, so just taking advantage of the opportunity, and you know, that's just a big thing that I think, you know what I'm saying, I've learned from that interaction is just being more intentional, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And just taking more accountability, you know.
Yeah.
That's solid.
That is solid. Failure does teach you a lot, though. That's another thing about black-owned businesses. I'm glad this is Black Business Month. Like, when you do start off on the business, what I mean by failure, I mean, like, everything that you set out to do won't work initially. Yeah. So we have to get used to continually trying, experimenting, and also holding other Black business owners accountable as well. Like,
and we got to be okay with failure, too.
Yeah.
You can't be afraid to fail, because trying and failing is better than not even trying.
Yeah, not even trying. No regrets, bro.
Yes, sir. So if you can, man, just give us a muddy gem for the day, y'all.
Muddy gem of the day. If you ain't producing, you useless.
Yes, sir. So I just want to say again, thank y'all for tapping in to episode 3, Muddy Waters. This has been a great episode. We'll see y'all next episode. Make sure y'all tap in, follow us on all platforms, OTM ENT. We are out.
Nothing bigger than the old. Bro, y'all niggas is funny.
Y'all niggas need to start coming so